I hand it over to Captain Pearl. We have short time, but Captain Pearl, take your time because I hope you answer many of the queries that our attendees have. Just a short introduction to Captain Pearl. You've heard her. She was commissioned in '93 for the Officers Training Academy. She shared that from the second batch of the lady officers, served in the Army Ordnance Corps for 10 years, was posted in Delhi, Awadhi, Dehradun, Guwahati, did a 6 months course in Jabalpur, is married to Lieutenant Colonel Bharat Shevur from the AOC, the Army Ordnance Corps, and they have a daughter Niharika who's presently working in a media company and is into branding. And after a stint in the army, she also worked in the corporate world in Hyderabad and Bangalore. And right now they're settled in Coorg, a beautiful place. Over to Captain Pearl.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Burton. And yeah, if you are putting up, flashing the slides, or you want me to take it on? Okay. So thank you, Colonel Paul. You shared quite a bit about the how to join the army for the male cadets related to the Officers Training Academy, Chennai. So that's the place where even the lady cadets go. And that's the only academy which accepts lady cadets. IMA and NDA have still not started. And like I had already mentioned, it was in 1992 that women were inducted into the armed forces in all the three services at the same time. And it was initially very small batches of 25 vacancies which were released. And then there was no written exam as such for the lady cadets. They had to just apply based on their qualification, and that would there were a few subjects that were mentioned, which because of which they could join a particular corps. Suppose it was a commerce background, or it was something to do with computers, then you could join the Army Ordnance Corps. If it is something to do with science, then you can join the Army Service Corps. That's the AC, that's the supplies. Then if you had a signal, if you were technically qualified, then you could join the engineers or the signals. And and if you were a law graduate, you could join the JAG branch. So based on your qualification, the initial batches were allowed to apply, and were screened in the beginning, and there were no written exams. Then the SSB happened, and after that is when the medical was conducted, and based on the merit list, which was the main thing, and not everybody made it in the merit list, and only ones who could make it in the merit list based on the number of vacancies were called to the academy for the training. So it was, like I mentioned earlier, it was a short service on an experimental basis. So they wanted to try it out because the other armies had already had women in their organization. It was only the Indian Army which had taken some time. And with our conservative background, yes, it did, take some time for everyone to digest the fact that, yes, women could also share the same space and rub shoulders with their counterparts. And so it was on an experimental basis that the first and the few batches were. And because it was on a trial basis, once the 5 years were completed, the feedback was taken from various commanding officers, from various units, at various levels. And they realized that, yes, the women can, take it forward and can be given another extension of 5 years. But the permanent commission was still a question mark, and they were not sure whether they could, how it would be handled once they had settled in their lives, once they had settled in their families, and how they would be able to cope. So that is when the first batch had completed the 5 years in 1998, and an extension of another 5 years was given. So that made it 5 plus 5. And over a period of time, that 5 plus 5 converted into 5 plus 5 plus 4, so they were given an extension of another 4 years. But it was still not permanent commission. It was still not pensionable. It was still not, it was still considered as short service officers. And it was only in the services. It is not in the combat. And till date, we do not have ladies in the combat. It is only in the logistics or in the support services or in the administrative positions. In a layman's language. And so that is where, and then again, over a period of time, it has changed. The policies have been changing. So it has been made to 10 plus 4. and the training has been increased from where it was. It was only about 6 months in the beginning to start with, then it became 49 weeks. It became about a year, close to a year. So that is the training. So initially, when we were commissioned as second lieutenants, and then moved on to become lieutenants, and then became captains, and served as captains till about 10 years. And it was only after that you could become a major. But now, again, the rank process has changed, and you get commissioned as a lieutenant, then you become a captain, and then you move on to be a major and a lieutenant colonel. And women in the present day, because of the permanent commission, will be able to go on to become a colonel. So the different types of entries that are there, Colonel Paul has already shared. It's more or less on the same lines. It is similar educational qualifications and age criteria. So you can join either the technical commission, or you can join the women NCC, or you can join the Judges Advocate General, that's the JAG branch, that's the legal branch, or the technical, or the non-technical. The technical, the non-technical, the JAG, the law, and the NCC. So this is apart from the medical and the nursing. Medical and nursing has been there for a long time. They've already been there from, I think, the 60s, So, but that was not considered as the regular army. This particular induction of women in the regular army happened only from 1992. And yes, if you are a graduate, then you apply based on your marks. You have to be a first class graduate. In our time, it was we had to be a first class graduate to apply, and then based on the qualifications and the subjects that we had done, we were chosen the core to which we were going to in the beginning itself. It is only now that when they are training, only after the training, that they are given the particular core, because they are also going through the Combined Defense Services exam. They give the CDS exam, and then get into, once they clear that, is when they go into the SSB and to the medicals and join the academy based on the merit. And yes, coming to life in the army, yeah, it is one of the best, I would say. I don't think there is any comparison with any other organization. It cannot be matched with any other organization, and it has no parallel. It's unimaginable the way it is, the way the systems are in place, the way the whole, the exposure that you get. Every day is a challenge. Every day is an experience by itself, and it is something that one can just not think of, if you like adventure, if you are fond of outdoor activities, if you are fond of being physically fit, and I'm sure this is the place. And then, this organization has definitely given a lot of facilities, along with the pay perks. Then you have job security, and you have, a status, and you get a lot of respect. And when you say you're from the army, you get a lot of, you really earn a lot of respect, and your name is always going to be prefixed by your rank. And that is going to be carried all along, till the end of your life, So that is one thing, and you really feel proud that you're a part of an organization which is like the number one in the country. So considering the army as the armed forces as a career, I would say you must give it a shot, whether it is short service or whether it is a permanent commission. I think this is one place where everybody should try and give it a shot. At least go through the SSB. You will understand what exactly they're looking at. You will know where you stand, whether it is psychologically, or whether it is to do the group tasks, or whether you're doing whether you're facing the board, the interview, and you're doing your individual tasks, and you're discussing the group discussions. It is an experience by itself. You will know where you stand. You know what exactly they are looking for. You understand that it is not the same procedure in any other organization. So I would suggest to all the participants who are young and who are looking at a career to definitely give it a try. No harm in giving it a try. On a nice place to be in. It's one of the best places to be in. You will be proud to be serving the nation, and you will be satisfied at the end of the day that you have done something. You know, I mean, you have done something which is worthwhile, and it gives you a lot of a challenge, a satisfaction, and you feel that yes, you know, you are doing what you have to be doing. You know, you share the right things.
और सब
Yeah. So, and the remaining yes is already there in the Indian Army website, and it is also there in the Indian Air Force and in the Indian Navy. So, anyone interested could always go to the website, that is www.joinindianarmy.nic.in, and you'll get all the details there. So everything is there, whether it's, you know, in the question answers chat, I'm seeing that there are people there are kids who are asking about, there are participants who are asking about the age, about the height, and about, you know, all these things. Everything is mentioned there, you know. So you will know whether you fit the bill, you will know whether you are suitable for this, and please give it a shot. And like the Nike people say, just do it, you know, just go and give it a try, and it's worth the try. And if you get it, yes, it's God's will. If you don't, there's something better in store for you. So that is what I would like to say. So that's the thing.
Thank you, Captain.